Radio, MLB closing time show for Friday, July 23rd. Ian Cameron, Conor Mack with you on this Friday, ready for another big day of baseball, another great, interesting card to break down here on this Friday. So let's get right to it. We've got the first game that will begin today at 2:20 Eastern. It's your typical day game at Wrigley Field with the Chicago Cubs hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. We've got Zach Gallen on the mound for the Cardinals, for the Diamondbacks. Zach Davies for the Cubs. We've got Chicago here minus 140. Home favorites, 10 the total in this game. And I've said it all throughout these shows that I've been on since I've returned from the break. I'm not backing the Cubs. I'm just not. It's not a team that's I'm looking to support. I'm looking to bet on a team that's going to be selling players at the deadline. We already saw the Twins do that last night with Nelson Cruz dealing him to the Tampa Bay Rays. The Cubs are in that same boat. You know, they're not thinking buy, they're thinking sell. And they're not exactly a team that I trust day in and day out to play good baseball. Knowing the mindset of this team is, hey, let's try to trade some pieces and look toward the future. That's not teams I'm looking to really bet on just before the deadline. And Davies at this price, not really interested. In my opinion, he's had walk issues throughout the course of the season. He hasn't pitched deep into ball games. 4 starts, he's gone 4.50 ERA in his last 4 starts. He's kind of taken that step backward again. And then you've got Zach Gallen on the mound for the all of a sudden surging Arizona Diamondbacks, who have won 4 straight games and are looking for their 5th straight win here today. Torey Lovullo, the manager, saying, you know, we're playing good baseball right now. It's about winning baseball games and playing winning baseball. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Where the hell's this been all season long? And Arizona finally winning some games. And look, their offense has been good. They've been hitting the ball pretty well lately. They have Gallen here on the mound for the Arizona Diamondbacks, 3.86 ERA. He allowed 1 run, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts, 5.2 innings against this very Cubs team that he faced last Saturday in the desert. And looks like he's getting stronger and looks like he's getting better with each outing. So at this price right now, it would be Arizona or pass for me. Obviously, though, I would defer to the first 5 rather than the full game. The Arizona bullpen continues to be a problem. It's still a group I do not trust one bit. And the Cubs do have the better of these pens. So if you like Arizona, the only way I would look probably is the first 5. I'll probably have a small bet on the Diamondbacks here, plus price in the first 5 innings. Conor, what do you think here? Diamondbacks, Cubs.
Yeah, the books are onto it, though. I mean, I thought to jump on the first 5, though. So we got almost 130 for the full game. And I went to first 5, and I have a minus 115 with Gallen. And then with Davies and the Cubs.
No bargain.
Minus, yeah, no bargain. I thought you'd maybe get, even money there, but we're not even getting that here. I lean the D-backs. Gallen, just pitched them July 17th, like you said, at home, 5 2/3. He's been one guy that I actually like to back for the D-backs is Gallen. I don't trust Davies. He's been a little bit better at home, 5 6. I don't like the guy, but he's pitched well in certain spots, and I like the numbers. This is another reason. It's tough to go full game, and this is a day game after the show we'll watch. We'll look till that end game over. I think 10, the wind's blowing out to left. It could get there. Bet it before game, but I think this is an in-game live bet with the D-backs bullpen. The Cubs is obviously a little bit better, but Cubs at minus 140, no way. And I just wanted to get to Davies. Christian Walker's 4 for 8 with a couple doubles, a homer. Nick Ahmed's 3 for 11. Peralta's 4 for 9. So some success off of Davies here for the D-backs. So I would lean them. Not getting much of a bargain. I'd go first 5. You can't even get, even money or plus 105. But I still look that way, and maybe in-game this one over if you're watching it.
All right, next up, we've got battle of, rivalry here a little bit across the state lines. Washington Nationals, Baltimore Orioles. In this one, we've got Jorge Lopez against Patrick Corbin, the pitching matchup here in this game. Currently, we've got the Nationals minus 125, minus 130. Road favorites, 10.5 the total. The Nationals seem to be trending more and more in that direction of the Cubs. I'm hearing Max Scherzer trade rumors going on right now. So this is not exactly a team I'm looking to lay a price with on the road, and I'm not looking to do that with Patrick Corbin right now. He has definitely gone back into the tank, you would say. Struggled in his recent starts. His road ERA has been dreadful, by the way. Patrick Corbin with a 6.45 ERA on the road this season for the Nationals. Just not very good. I think the Orioles could do some damage. I like the way the Orioles lineup's been connecting. I thought their offense was pretty respectable in the series against Tampa Bay. They put up some runs in that series earlier this week. I think they can do the same here against Patrick Corbin, a lefty, and the Orioles usually hit the lefty pretty good. So I think they'll do some damage here. On the flip side, though, we got our guy, Jorge Lopez. You know I'm not a fan. 6.04 ERA for Jorge Lopez this season. Just hasn't been all that good for the Baltimore Orioles. And look, the Nationals are showing their capabilities at the plate right now, too, especially Juan Soto, who's been really good since the All-Star break concluded. So this one projects to be runs in bunches to me. Total's pretty high at 10, but I still wouldn't be shy away from it looking toward the over here. 10, actually, there's only a couple of 10s left. It's moved to 10.5 in most spots, but I still would look over the total. I think you could get 6 to 5 or greater in this game. Two pitchers that are really not all that good in terms of current form right now. Connor Mack, what do you think here? Nats, O's.
Yeah, I think there's runs too. At 10, that's it. 10.5. I don't know here. But I there's got to be runs. I mean, Lopez 2-12. Man, he's horrible, whether it's the road or away. And Corbin's just been so up and down and not consistent, especially on the road. I know Baltimore hasn't. We talked about it the other day. Hit lefties great. The last 30 days, they got a few off Yarbrough in that game. I want a little bit better number here than plus 120. Maybe look at Orioles first 5. It's just a lean for me. I'd lean the Orioles there, getting this plus money at home. And I'd have to lean over if you get a 10.5, I'd probably off. You could maybe in-game this. Baltimore's horrible bullpen. And, I lean over in that small ballpark, Camden.
All right, on we go. Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies. Max Fried for the Braves, and Zach Wheeler in the sky keeps on turning for the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Philadelphia here in that minus 155 range, 7.5 the total in this game. Wheeler, we like Wheeler. Wheeler had a little bit of a rougher outing last time, but still, he's back home. He's been terrific there most of the season. But I'm not laying $150 with Philly. Philly is one of those streaky teams, and they're on the wrong side of the streak again. Remember, they had that. That's what's frustrating about this team. And if you're a Phillies fan, you got to be pounding your head against the wall. You have a great little surge right before the All-Star break to get you within 3 games of the Mets for first in the NL East, and then you come out of the All-Star break and you start, screwing up again and shooting yourself in the foot, blowing games like they did against the Yankees. And then last night they can not get anything going against old man Morton, and of course Matt Moore goes back to being Matt Moore, gets shellacked in that game by the Braves. So I'm not laying $150 with the Phillies. I know I like Wheeler a lot, and certainly reluctant to go against him, especially at home. But Fried's not chopped liver. Atlanta is playing kind of the way the Phillies did before the All-Star break. Atlanta's starting to put some wins together. The lineup, even without Ronald Acuna, who's out for the season, has picked up the slack. Riley's hitting well. Freeman's hitting well. Ozzie Albies has been really good, swinging the bat of late for the Braves. So Braves are playing better baseball right now than Philly. So even though it's Wheeler on the mound, I don't want to go against him. I'm not laying this price. I'm probably going to end up staying away from this game altogether. Connor, anything for you, Atlanta and Philly?
Man, this is one that's teetering with me. I try to stay kind of off. I had the Phillies team total a couple days ago. It got there with the Yankees. I've stayed away from the Braves. But, man, with Max Fried on the mound and the plus 140, it's tempting right here. Wheeler's been really good all year long, but his last couple starts he's gotten hit around a little bit. Miami, 6 innings, 4 earned. He did get the K prop. I was on that one with Sharpie, just over it. And then the start before that with the Cubs, he gave up 4 runs. Yeah, no way. I know Wheeler's been really good. I just can't take him here. I lean Braves, maybe first 5 with Fried. I don't want their bullpen. I don't want either of these teams' pens. There could be over. This could be an in-game over late, but I like the first 5 under 4 a little bit at minus 120. So would be on the Braves first 5 and the first 5 under 4. Don't know which one I'm going to bet, but those are my leans here early.
Joe Girardi, you got to love this quote. Classic. We're okay bullpen-wise. We'll get it back in order. There's going to be days you have to be able to adjust. You've been saying that for 2 fucking years, guy. Come on.
Come on, bud.
Yeah. with this freaking bullpen of yours. I mean, geez, we got to be able to adjust. Well, you've been waiting. I'm waiting for 2 years for some fucking adjustments and improvement, and consistency from this damn bullpen. I'm still waiting. Man, I love these managers and coaches quotes sometimes. I know that some of it's just coach speak, and they say, they just go through the motions and just say shit to, just answer the question and get through it. But come on, you can't be serious, right? We're okay bullpen-wise. We'll get it back in order. There's just going to have to be days you adjust. So you've been adjusting to this shitty bullpen for 2 years now. Good adjustments. All right, next up, we've got the next up, we've got the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Garrett Cole and Eduardo Rodriguez, the pitching matchup here in this one. Boston right now slightly favored at home, Fenway Park, minus 120. It looks like in that range currently. The total sitting at 8.5, pretty much across the board. This is tricky. Red Sox are the much better team. This seems like extreme value on the Red Sox, laying just a short price at home, like barely minus 115, with the way they've played this season. But it's Eduardo Rodriguez versus Garrett Cole, and it is a complete and utter pitching mismatch on paper in favor of Cole and the Yankees. And Cole has figured it out in his last few games. Remember, we were worried about him. Maybe Spider Tack was catching up to him, and the crackdown and the spin rate, which people were saying was affecting his pitching. Well, the last two starts have been brilliant from Garrett Cole. The start against the Astros, where he tells Aaron Boone, "Get out of here. I'm finishing this game." We remember how awesome he was that game. And then he followed it up with another good start against the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium last weekend. So that's two terrific starts in a row for for Garrett Cole for this Yankees team. And he's clearly much the better of it from a starting pitching standpoint over Eduardo Rodriguez, who I just don't trust. So this seems to be one of those games where, the way I might go about this game if I get involved, and I'm not sure I will, but if I do, Yankee first 5 might be a look for me. And then a live bet on Boston after that, because I think that could be something you look at. The Yankee bullpen's been shaky lately. Boston's bullpen's been pretty steady most of the season. I just don't want anything to do with Eduardo here, although his track record against the Yankees hasn't been that bad. Yankee first 5 would be the lean, and then maybe I'd look Boston at that point as for an in-game bet. We'll see how it goes. What do you think here, C-Mac? Red Sox, Yankees?
Yeah, this one's got me looking every which way, so I'm going to probably stay off. Rodriguez, a guy I just like to fade all the time. I just has something against the Yankees. I remember last time they played here at Fenway, 2-3 weeks ago, he pitched well. And then Cole got shelved at Fenway. Then he came back and pitched well at Yankee Stadium here against the Red Sox. He doesn't have his sticky stuff. I think he's getting back to learning how to pitch without it. I don't trust him, though. I get it. People are going to jump on Cole around plus 110, and it's moving a little bit. I see plus 107, 106 in a few spots. Not a game I love. I kind of looked at the first 5 under 4.5, but I got to roll with Rodriguez then, and I don't know if I can do that. And then I looked at full game. Both bullpens are pretty good, but you can get runs late. It happened last night. These offenses could wake up. I was waiting for the Red Sox. They had the rain delay. Then they busted it and got a few and won the game late. Yeah, I lean the Red Sox. I lean the first 5 under 4.5 here a little bit. I guess you could go full game at 8.5 at minus 105. Those are just my leans. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger though on this one. It's real close. I was just like, and when it's real close like this, I'm looking. I go, maybe I should just step off. There's a lot of games today. Maybe just put it to the side. But definitely one I want to see.
Sure. The value full game money line is definitely Boston. There's no question about that whatsoever. It's just such a huge pitching edge on paper, at least for the Yankees with Cole over Eduardo. So interesting look. Ty Clinton just joining the chat. Yeah, the Cubs game, we talked about it. I like Arizona first 5. It's a small bet for me, and I think Conor kind of leans in that direction as well. Diamondbacks in the first 5 there. Yeah,
maybe a live over.
By the way,
too. We talked about
and the live over. Yeah, exactly. With Arizona's bullpen, always good to potentially have runs late. Want to wish well, by the way, someone that's watching our shows daily and always in the chat, Luke Murphy. He's an author. He's a book writer. He's a novelist, and he's got a new book and a new novel out today. So we wish him well with that. Hope it's a good success. Hope you sell some copies. Let's see that on the Pulitzer Prize list one day, maybe that novel of yours, Luke. But good luck. All the best.
Hustle Murphy.
That's exactly it. Good luck with that new book. Hope it's a success. Hope it's well received. Definitely. All right, let's go to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. Josh Fleming, Zach Plesac, the pitching matchup here. Tampa Bay -120, -125 home road favorites, I should say, in Cleveland. 9 the total, shaded to the over in this game. Josh Fleming on the mound for the Rays. It's been a struggle for him. He's given up 17 runs in his last 17 innings of work. So it has absolutely been a tough go of it lately for Josh Fleming in this Rays rotation. 7 runs, 8 hits in a start he made against the Atlanta Braves. So very, very disappointing lately for him. And Plesac on the mound for the Cleveland. They're not going to be the Indians anymore. That's the big news. They're going to be the Cleveland Guardians as the name changes continue for all those teams that are linked to the native heritage, obviously. I'm just waiting for the Blackhawks in the NHL to have their name probably changed too. We've already seen the Redskins gone, the Eskimos and the CFL. They're not called that anymore. Of course, the Indians now, Cleveland Indians. So it's just they're going one by Braves.
How long real quick. Yeah, the Redskins we get, but the Indians, that one I don't.
That's not as much of an insult or as much of a derogatory slur or term toward that group of people. Redskins is. So I understand the Redskins name change, but the Guardians. We'll have to wait and see. They could have done worse. I'll say that. It could have been a lot worse than Guardians. So we'll see. But nevertheless, the Cleveland baseball team. Let's go with that, right? The Cleveland baseball team. They have Zach Plesac. Yeah, exactly. The Cleveland baseball team. Zach Plesac on the mound. Of course, he was on the IL for a bit. He allowed 2 runs, 4 hits in 6 innings against Oakland in a 4-2 win on Sunday. That was his second start after missing all that time with the fractured thumb injury. We'll see how he pitches here. I was on Cleveland first 5 in full game last night. Split. I should have won both, though. Terrible bullpen meltdown by Cleveland in the 9th inning, costing them a win. But at least I split. Thank goodness I had the first 5 as well. I would lean that way again. First 5 in a full game split potentially with Cleveland again tonight. Now, I know Nelson Cruz was acquired by the Rays. He'll probably be in the lineup. More than enough time for him to get there in time and be in the lineup tonight to make his Rays debut. And obviously that's another good bat in their lineup. But I still don't like much what I'm seeing from Fleming here. So it would be Cleveland first 5 full game if I were to bet it. Connor, what do you think here? Rays and the Cleveland baseball team.
Cleveland baseball team. Wow, this one was interesting to me. I liked Fleming in 6 innings. Toronto, he gave up 4. His best one was May 6th, his road start. He gave up 3 in 5 innings. I'd actually lean, the Indians first 5 at even money here. I don't want full game. I'll give it a shot first 5. And then real quick, Fleming at home has been phenomenal. He might not go 5 innings. He goes 3 innings. They use this spot roll or whatever they do there with the Rays. He's been really good, but those splits are horrible. And because at first I wanted the first 5 under 5. I still lean that way, but Fleming, but at times the Indians can't hit. So I lean the first 5 under 5, and I think I might take a stab here with Plesac and the Indians first 5.
All right, looking Cleveland first 5, maybe the under first 5. You're right about that. Cleveland sometimes can't hit suspect pitching. And yes, Fleming on the road.
We got a 5 too.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That which is pretty high considering you're talking about a Cleveland lineup that can be sketchy sometimes. Fleming just bad on the road. We'll see what gives there. Fleming bad on the road or Cleveland sometimes, shaky offense and lineup. We'll have to wait and see on that. Next up, we've got the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Great American Ballpark. Wade LeBlanc, Tyler Mahle on the mound here. Cincinnati about -155 home favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. The soft tossing lefty, Wade LeBlanc. How much longer can he go along trying to deceive all these opposing hitters with his with his devil magic, I guess you could say, because to me he's never been a guy with impressive stuff. He's just got to mix pitches up, change speeds, work both sides of the plate, try to get hitters out in front. That's the way he's got to have success. And look, he's had more success so far than I thought, but how long is it going to keep up for Wade LeBlanc? I mean, come on. I mean, it's 5 starts. He's been pretty good outside of the one against Baltimore. But June 28th, July 3rd, July 9th, July 18th, he's given up a grand total of 5 runs, over 17 innings. So he's actually pitched quite well. The thing that worries me, though, is this ballpark, and he can give up the long ball. That's usually not good, not a good recipe for pitching against the Cincinnati Reds in this ballpark. So it does concern me a little bit. Maile on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, who's been, for the most part, pretty steady this season, but a couple of recent starts not quite as good. The last one against Milwaukee certainly was a rough one. 5 runs, 6 hits, 5.1 innings in that start for Maile against the Cardinals. Cardinals, though, starting to, put things together a little bit. These two teams neck and neck in the division, 49 and 48 for the Cards, 49 and 47 for the Reds. Maile at home, by the way, has a 6.37 ERA here at Great American Ballpark. So he's kind of struggled here going into this one. Kind of lean over 9.5. I don't have a strong feel on the side. It just feels like a big price to be laying with Cincinnati, who, look, to be honest with you right now, kind of struggling and scuffling at the moment. They've kind of gone backward here since the All-Star break. So I don't like LeBlanc one bit, but my goodness, at this price, I'd kind of have to look to St. Louis. That's the only way I would go with the St. Louis price tag here. The Reds are scuffling a little bit, so I would lean in the first 5 to the St. Louis Cardinals at a good plus price, and maybe look over 9.5 as well. What do you think, Conor, here at Cardinals and Reds?
Yeah, I lean the over here in this one, 9.5. Something about Maile at home, he just has gotten hit. It's really, really hard. He's pitched better on the road, and these home starts I'm looking at, he's had some really bad ones. That was at Seattle. San Francisco at home, he gave up 7. His last start with the Brewers, he gave up 5. And the Reds, I can't take him at this number. I've kind of done it a few times. First 5, half a run. The bats are hot and cold. Castellanos is out now. But both these pitchers I don't trust, so I lean the over here in there. Soft toss to lefty. Yeah, Wade. I can't trust him. It's tough. The price, I want to take the Cardinals, but I just can't. They played a little bit better baseball lately, and there's good numbers. Votto's 5 for 13 with a homer, but some of these Cardinals, Goldschmidt 6 for 18. How about Yadier Molina, the old guy, 9 for 20 with a couple homers. Paul DeJong, he's got a couple homers too, 4 for 16 with a couple. I just see runs, so in this one, I'd go full game. Give me the over 9.5.
All right, Conor Mack liking the over as well in this one. I think that's a good way to go, is seeing some runs here and lean to St. Louis plus price. And even though that's a good price, not with it's just going to be a lean. I'm probably not going to go ahead and back it with LeBlanc. LeBlanc probably just can't do that. Mets and the Blue Jays. Next up, interleague series here. We've got Steven Matz going back to Citi Field, face his former team, taking on Tyler McGill and the New York Mets here. In this one, we've got the Mets minus 115, minus 120, home favorites. 8.5 is the total in this game. An up and down season, to be sure, for Steven Matz. For the Blue Jays, he's had some really great streaks. Then he had a little bump in the road where he gave up 4 runs in 4 of 5 starts through June and early July. But then his first start after the All-Star break, very good, albeit Texas, and we know Texas has been dreadful, but 5 innings, 3 hits, shutout ball in his last start, so good sign there. And the one thing you'd usually get from these pitchers facing that former team for the first time is they want to beat him. Will that be enough? Will be enough? I don't know, because I'll tell you what, with the Mets right now, it's a lineup that's really hitting 7, 15, 3, 7. They've scored 7 or more now in 4 of their last 5 games. So this is going to be a good test for Steven Matz against his former team tonight. And look, that's a lineup that might not have Jeff McNeil tonight. He's questionable with an injury. Frankie Lindor, of course, is still on the IL. So definitely a team that, even with a couple of key bats out, they've managed to really hit well. So interesting to see how Matz fares against this Mets offense, which has been raking the last few games. Tyler McGill, I don't know, 2.63 ERA, but his metrics and his advanced stuff say he should be that good. He's been a little bit lucky. His advanced numbers are closer to 3.84 with his ERA. So, and look, he's got a tough task here. Like, look at some of these lineups he's faced. Like, let's get serious here. I know he's pitched well his last 3 starts, but come on here. Milwaukee, sketchy lineup, 2 against Pittsburgh. Can we settle down here that Tyler McGill's this big-time pitcher all of a sudden. Like, let's see if now he's facing a real lineup tonight, this Blue Jays team. I think he's going to be in for some trouble here tonight. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays in the first 5, full game split here. I like the angle of Matz against his former team. And to be honest with you, I think this total could be a little bit light. I mean, 8.5 with the Blue Jays, with their lineup, 8.5 with the Mets, the way they're hitting right now, 7 or more in 4 of their last 5 games. So Blue Jays first 5 full game, over 8.5 full game as well. That's what I'm looking at here. Connor, what do you like here? Jays and Mets.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to the chat. Uncool22, my guy Ron Crawford, Milwaukee spreadsheet play of the day. Right on. Lucky Power, non-applicable. What's up? R. Everyone in the chat, Cash, Action Bets, Real Deal Prime. Everyone in here, Brian Watson, everyone, Puzzler, Bubba Wallace guy, everyone, thanks so much. Hit the like, hit the share. We appreciate you guys being here every day. It means a lot to us. Yep, you got this. Is it. This game, my guy Steven Matz, is he going to bring it? Can he keep the ball down today? You got to think he's got to be focused here. Both these teams haven't seen these guys. I mean, obviously they're familiar with Matz. I'm sure he's thrown some split games and all that good stuff, but never a live game. And of course, they haven't seen McGill. And you mentioned it, the Pirates a couple times, the Brewers. Blue Jays kind of got their ass waxed. Sent out of Buffalo there. So I think they might be a little bit better. The price has already moved. I just saw it plus 110. Full game now it's 105. I don't know. Maybe because they haven't seen each other, maybe a first 5 under 4.5. I was looking that way. I really would like a 5 because I don't know what I'm going to get out of Matz. So because of my Steven Matz phobia, I'm probably going to have to stay away from this. Even though he pitched well Texas, but I had him in that Baltimore start and he shoved it to me. So probably a game I'll just stay away from. But I'll lean under, first 5 under 4.5 a bit.
Yeah, definitely the first 5 on. If you like the under, do the first 5 because you got 2 bullpens here. Blue Jays the last 10 games, 5.97 bullpen ERA. Mets 5.48 bullpen ERA. I mean, 2 really, really slumping bullpens right now. So you could get runs late. So that's why I think that 8.5 is very live over the total here in this one. And it's just a cheap number. I know it's an NL Park, pitchers hit in the 9th spot. I get it. That's why it's a lower total as well. But 8.5 with the Blue Jays right now, man, that seems pretty low.
Mets have been hitting.
Yeah, and the Mets too. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm liking over 8.5 there, Blue Jays and Mets. And yes, thanks to everyone in the chat. By the way, those of you that are in Canada, we get all the Blue Jay games nationally televised here in this country. I don't know if you've caught on to this, but I have. When the Blue Jays play and Dan Shulman does the national games here on TV here in Canada for the Jays, I think their record is like 10 games above 500, the Blue Jays. And then when he's gone, he doesn't do the games, and Buck Martinez slides over from the analyst role in the booth and does the play-by-play when Dan isn't there. I think they've lost like the majority. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, it's hard to fathom this, but I've noticed that all season long. I mean, so please, if you're a Blue Jays fan, and you're not going to have Dan Shulman for a while, Dan Shulman's doing Olympic basketball play-by-play for the next 2 weeks for CBC in Canada. So he's not going to be back on Blue Jays play-by-play for a couple of weeks now because of the Olympics. So they better figure it out with the Blue Jays when Dan Shulman's not there. Figure out how to win when he's not calling the game, will you? I mean, my gosh. And because he's not going to be there for 2 weeks. And this is their most critical 2 weeks right now, the Blue Jays. They're 4.5 out. They're going to go back to the Rogers Center next Friday for their first game back in Toronto. Finally, they can get rid of this nomad lifestyle they've had for the last 2 years without a home. And then we'll see if they can go on a run here. Figure
that
it out.
Might be good.
Dan Coleman's a great broadcaster, but come on, you got to win games when he's not there and calling the game. Come on, this is ridiculous.
Maybe look at the Jays. Yeah, that is a crazy stat. Maybe look at the Jays when they get back home, though, to get hot, like you said. Maybe a little back home, and they go on a little run there when they get back to Toronto. Like a little home cooking.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just that. He does some ESPN baseball games still from time to time during the season, Dan, as well.
Does he still?
So he does still. Just the odd one, like on a Monday night or something, because they have Monday night games, and sometimes you'll see him on that. But it's just I've noticed that. It's like the record with him there and him not calling the game. It's crazy, the difference. All right, next up, we've got the San Diego Padres and the Miami Marlins. It's Joe Musgrove and Zach Thompson, the pitching matchup here. San Diego minus 160, road favorites, 8 total. I'm tempted by the Marlins here, first 5 at the very least, if not full. I know their lineup is a mash unit right now. They got a ton of guys out. I mean, Brian Anderson, Jazz Chisholm. They got a bunch of key bats out of the lineup. They're a little bit depleted right now. But Zach Thompson's been good. Really, really good. Less than 2 ERA at home. Pretty good ERA overall this season for the Miami Marlins. So when I look at this price here, and the Padres are a little bit sketchy on the road. Look, I know they took care of business last night, but Joe Musgrove's not in good form right now. I mean, his ERA this month is pretty damn bad overall for this Padres team right now. I mean, it's been a struggle. It's for Joe Musgrove. You look at his numbers right now here this month, and look at his ERA's gone up from every month. It's now 6.28 ERA for him in 3 starts here in the month of July. So it's not great. It's a large and remember, a Padres team that's done most of their success and had most of their wins at home this year, not on the road. So again, the Marlins are a very, very tough team to want to back right now. They've scuffled. Their lineup is definitely depleted and shorthanded, but I cannot endorse Musgrove at this price, not in his current form. So lean to the Marlins here, first 5 full game. Connor, what do you think here? Padres, Marlins.
Yeah, Musgrove, you talk about it. He's just every month the ERA keeps going up. He had such a great start. I lean the Marlins here as well. Thompson, one thing, even on the road, he's been pretty good, but he's been a lot better at home. I think the Marlins, I like the Padres yesterday, but I think this could be a sneaky spot. It's just the offense. Can I trust the Marlins? Can they get hits? Man, it's a struggle sometimes. So depending on Musgrove, I think because of the Marlins lineup with Thompson, I lean the first 5 under 4.5 here in that big ballpark. I looked at the numbers. They're last in home runs, second to last on base at that ballpark. Everything offensively is just about dead last, and the Marlins can't hit there either. So I lean the first 5 under 4.5 here.
Yeah, this is one of those games too. I mean, most people you're going to look at it on paper and say Padres, take them. But again, the best teams in baseball every year still lose at least 70 games, 65, 70 games. And the worst teams in baseball still find their way to winning 60, 70 games. So, you got to pick your spots sometimes with prices like this to back the much inferior team, because to me, it's just that's a struggling arm we got for the Padres right now in Musgrove, and that's why I think Miami could be live here tonight. We'll see if that is indeed the case. Next up, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals. Fast Willie Peralta for the Tigers, Chris Bubich for the Royals. We got Kansas City minus 115, home favorites, 10.5 the total. This Tigers team, why not keep riding them? And I can't believe I'm saying I'm going to back Willie Peralta here, but we need to give Willie Peralta a little respect. We've got to put a little shine on his name right now for the Detroit Tigers. 1.64 ERA for Peralta in his start since he's been a part of this Tigers rotation. And I will say this right now, there is no way I saw that one coming from Willie Peralta with him pitching like he has. He has made now 6 starts in this rotation, and the last 5, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. He shut out the Twins in 7 strong innings last start, gave up 1 run to the Twins the start before that, shut out the Texas Rangers in 7 innings, 1 run against Cleveland in 5 innings. So you could argue, hey, some weaker lineups there. There's definitely some truth to that. But he's pitched well. We'll give Peralta credit. And the Royals have never faced him, believe it or not. So we'll see if he can keep it going here. Bubich on the other side for the Royals, he's been brutal the last 4 starts. 6, 5, 5, 5 in terms of runs scored. He has actually 6 straight Bubich starts have gone over the total. So I kind of like the over a little bit here as well. Detroit's hitting. It's a high number, 10.5, but I think the over could still get there. And it's kind of like an insurance policy, too, betting the over in case Peralta finally falls on his face, which could happen. I always worry about that maybe Peralta's, luck is going to run out at some point. So maybe that does happen. But as far as a side goes, yeah, it's ride this Detroit team or pass right now. You like the way this team's playing. Grossman, Haas, Candelario, Baду. I mean, their lineup has really hit well. As of late, their offense is putting things together. 4-game sweep, against the Texas Rangers. I know that's not saying a lot because they are absolutely awful, this Texas team, but still, it's a Detroit team that's now on a 7-game winning streak, looking for 8 straight tonight. And with these teams that are on a winning streak of this magnitude, you know what I always say? I've always said it on this show. Either ride the streak or you leave it alone or you stay off the game. And so I'm riding the streak tonight again with Detroit. First 5 in full game. Connor, what do you like?
Yeah, ride it or stay off. No way you want to take Bubic in a minus 118 where he's at. Just stay off the game or take the Tigers. I like the Tigers here. They've hit Bubic well. Migi's 4 for 7, Candelario 2 for 6, Grossman 2 for 4, Castro 2 for 5 with a homer. They've hit him well, and he's been nothing special. And Willie Peralta, shout out to this guy. I mean, he's pitched unreal the last few starts. So at 3-1, I'm gonna not go full game. I'm gonna stick the Tigers first 5 minus 105. I saw a little leak in that bullpen. It had pitched a lot yesterday, and there could be runs. So yeah, I don't. It's 10.5, but I lean the over. I'm right there with you, but give me him first 5. Give me the Tigers one more time today. I'm gonna roll it.
You can see they're padding these totals now because of the weather. Hot weather's here, middle of the summer. And now these total, like at a game like this with these two pitchers, I think a couple of months ago the total would have been 9.5 instead. But now you're seeing 10.5. They're padding these things now because of the warm weather, and we have seen a scoring increase pretty much across the board in Major League Baseball the last week or so since the crackdown on the foreign substances took place. So I think that's why you're not getting the bargains anymore with overs in a lot of these settings like this one. In particular. All right, we've got the White Sox and the Brewers. Lucas Giolito, Freddie Peralta pitching matchup here. Should be a good pitching matchup. Milwaukee minus 125 home favorites at Miller Park, 7.5 the total. I'm staying off this game. I mean, the Brewers kind of frustrated me. I took them against the Royals the other day, and they lost both games. And they're just one of those teams that feels like this is a game where they actually rise. They seem to rise to the occasion against some good teams, and then they fall flat against some bad teams. It's kind of been a pattern with the Brewers, but certainly a lot to like with Peralta. He's been very, very consistent this season. 2.39 ERA for the Milwaukee Brewers. But Milwaukee's lost, 5 straight games here at Miller Park, 5 straight home losses. So that is a little bit concerning here for the Brewers. We'll see. Their lineup, of course, is going to get Lorenzo Cain back soon. But Freddie Peralta, like I say, he's been absolutely terrific. 1.91 ERA for him in his last 10 starts. Brilliance from Peralta. But I'm going to give Giolito some credit. He's won 3 of his last 4 starts. He's been pitching a lot better of late. Remember, he had a little bit of a downturn earlier this season, but 3.90 ERA for him overall. He's pitched better lately. And I don't want to go against that. And look, the Brewers have lost 5 straight at home, and I'm not rushing to back them, but I'm also not interested in fading Peralta with how good he's been. So just a game, I think, both ways. I'm going to stay off. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, Brewers need a win here at home after those couple of bad losses to the Royals. Peralta, I think, just is the guy to do it. He's been solid all year. Giolito, been up and down, been better lately. Tough guy to take on the road, and the White Sox haven't been good on the road, and they haven't been good against teams over 500. At home, they're a little bit better, but on the road, they haven't been good at all. Yeah, I don't really love a side. I get how you could see a little value in the Sox, and maybe you could think this is a cheap price with the Brewers and Peralta. But I'm going to take a stab here with the first 5 under 4. It's all I think Peralta gives me it. It's Giolito. I need him. He's a question mark in this one. But first 5 under 4 minus 120 for me.
All right, I think that's definitely a decent way to go. I think I could see it being lower scoring early in this game. The White Sox again. That's going to be. Here's the thing with the White Sox. And I hope White Sox fans, if we have any watching, don't get upset when I say this. You haven't played good on the road. All right, that's number 1 this season. Number 2, and for those people that are saying the White Sox are really big-time World Series contenders, they could be. I'm not totally sold on that. Number 1, they got to be better on the road. Number 2, you are in an absolutely pathetic division. All right, pathetic division this season, the AL Central. That division stinks. It stinks
Yeah, they
worse
beat
than a
up on
dead
bad
skunk
teams.
on the road
Yeah.
right in front of my house. That's how bad this division stinks right here. And that's a pretty bad stench. All right. Minnesota's had a disappointing, dismal season. Cleveland's mediocre at best. Kansas City's terrible. Detroit's better lately, but still they haven't had a good season overall, but they've been really, really good, obviously red hot lately. But overall, you know what I'm saying? That division's that's not a big time division. All right. That's just not. Whereas you look at the NL West, you've got three beasts in that division: the Giants, the Dodgers, the Padres. Those teams are just bludgeoning each other. You look at the AL East. You got the Rays and the Red Sox, and even the third and fourth place teams, the Blue Jays and Yankees, are good teams. I wouldn't say great teams, but they're good teams. And someone's going to be left out of the mix there in the playoffs. I mean, and here's the White Sox. You get to beat the crap out of the Twins and the Royals and the Indians and the especially earlier in the season, the Tigers all the time. I mean, they've got a lot to prove to me still come playoff time. And let's not forget, in the playoffs, what happened to the White Sox, Connor? Terrible. They weren't ready for prime time the way they played in that series against Oakland. They weren't ready at all. Rick Renteria got fired, and then La Russa took over. So look, there's questions to me for this White Sox team come playoff time. They got to show it to me first when the rubber meets the road in October. Next up, we've got the Angels and the Twins. Cobb and there's our guy Jay Hapless on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. The Angels -120, road favorites here, 10 the total. Look, Twins, scratch them off. I'm betting on them list after what I saw last night with trading Nelson Cruz to the Tampa Bay Rays. They're sellers. Jay Happ's actually on the trading block right now. I don't know who'd want him, to be honest with you. That's what I was reading. That Jay Happ is they got suitors for Jay Happ. Who? What? A Bantam baseball team wants him? Like who's going for Jay Happ right now? Seriously, what's going on here? I mean, suitors. I mean, suitors for what? A lump of coal? Like what are we talking about here? I mean, my goodness, they're acting like this guy's in the Cy Young race or something. When he's been nothing, he's just been absolutely dreadful this season. 6.15 ERA. Like, I get it. He's a veteran guy. He's been around the block. He's pitched in the playoffs before. I know there's some truth to, wanting that kind of pitcher come playoff time to help your ball club. But I don't know, not the way he's pitched this season. I wouldn't be rushing to line up to negotiate a trade for Jay Happ. He's coming off a start where he gave up 7 runs on 11 hits in 7 innings against the aforementioned Red Hot Tigers. Before that, 3 runs. It was actually a better start the first time against the Tigers. 3 runs, 7 innings. Before that, 6 runs, 9 hits, 4.1 innings against the Royals. I will say this about Happ. He's been a little bit better in this ballpark, Target Field. His home ERA is a little bit better. Let's give him that. 4.25 ERA. His recent home starts have been serviceable, but still not great still by any stretch of the imagination. So with Happ on the mound, with the Twins selling already, this trade Cruz away last night to the Rays, team going nowhere. There's no way I'm backing the Twins. No way whatsoever. The question is, can I back the Angels? I'm not sure about that either. I'm not a big fan of what I've seen from Alex Cobb on the road. A 6.37 ERA for Alex Cobb on the road. I think I would rather just stay away from the side. And now you got to lay a price with the Angels on the road here. It's not something I look to do. I would lean Angels first 5 in full game for sure. Like, Cobb has been good his last 3 starts. We will give him that. He's given up 4 runs over 18 innings. In his last 18 innings of work, last 3 starts, has a 0.92 ERA, less than 1 ERA in his last 3 starts. So I would lean Angels first 5 and Angels full game, but I'm definitely interested in the over here. 10 is the total in this game between these two teams. Even without Nelson Cruz, there's still some bats for the Twins that can do damage, and I certainly think the Angels will do some damage against Happ and a bad bullpen. So I lean Angels first 5 and full game. But I'm definitely going to be on the over here, over 10. And look, we talked about it with Happ, right? These overs with him on the mound. It's been over machines constantly with him taking the mound for the Twins for the most part. Now, the last 2 stayed under, but it's not because he pitched well. Like, Detroit scored 7 the last time he pitched, and Minnesota got shut out. That's why it stayed under. That's the only reason that stayed under. So I think the Angels will do damage. So will the Twins. I think this game can get over the total. Connor, what do you think here? Angels, Twins.
I'm with you. This is a game I'm going to stay off. I lean over, and it didn't get over because they didn't hit the Twins. He gave up 7 runs to the Tigers with Happ, but still it's 12-2 towards the over. I'd only go that way. I'd be on the Angels. Yesterday, I thought about taking them. They get the big 3-run homer, and that was it. And their bullpen actually pitched well. They finished that game 3-2. It's just now you got to lay the little price with Cobb. First 5, he's around -135. It's just a little bit too much on the road, even though he's pitched better lately. I'd lean the Angels with you. And, yeah, I lean over in this one. Good numbers, too, off Happ. Upton's 5 for 11 with a couple homers, and Iglesias 5 for 13. So a few Angels maybe to look out for Jack of the Day.
Yeah, definitely. This could be one of those games where you do look for home run props for sure. Feels that way. And both of these guys can give up the long ball for sure, especially Happ. Happ has been just awful giving up home runs the last several starts. So he gives it up quite a bit, the long ball. Texas Rangers and Houston Astros. Colby Allard, Jake Odorizzi, the pitching matchup here. Astros -200. Home favorites, 8.5 the total. There's got to be some betting market sentiment here that hates Jake Odorizzi because this opened -250. It's down to -200. I don't know who the hell is betting Texas right now. I mean, this team is just lifeless, pathetic, horrendous, hideous. I don't know. There's not enough words in the vocabulary in the English language to describe this Texas team right now. 0-7 now since the All-Star break. They haven't won a game. Think about that. They haven't won a game since the All-Star break, this Texas Rangers team. Just can't hit a lick right now. Actually, they did hit a little bit yesterday. They got 5 runs finally for the first time in forever. But again, pitching was a nightmare. Fultonevich, bad bullpen again for Texas as well. Jake Odorizzi, since he came back from the injured list, he's been pretty good. I mean, last start was a little bit more of a down start for him. 4 runs, 6 hits against the White Sox 6 days ago. But other than that, he's pitched pretty well since returning from the injured list late in May. 2.95 ERA. For Jake Odorizzi in 8 starts. And look, we're not asking Jake Odorizzi to dominate just this terror lineup right now. We're asking him to dominate a lineup that can't hit a lick right now. I think he's capable of doing that for the Houston Astros here when you look at it. This Texas team's just not hitting the ball right now. And look, we're seeing Matt Manning shut this team down. We're seeing Tyler Alexander yesterday for the Tigers shut this team down right now. I mean, these are the guys that are just shutting this team down. You know, these aren't even premium pitchers, and they're absolutely mowing down this Texas lineup right now. So why can't Odorizzi, with a 2.95 ERA since he's been back from the injured list, shut this Texas team down as well? So obviously it's well priced. You maybe can look Houston -0.5 a run in the first 5. You got to lay a little juice with that, but I would lean in that direction, maybe a run line as well. But obviously I want no part of Texas. Simple as that. Conor, what do you think here? Battle of Texas, Rangers, Astros.
Yeah, it's just in a difficult spot. I'm kind of waiting for the Astros maybe to get rolling before I start betting on them. Again, they've just kind of been mediocre. I want to see the offense get going again. The team total 4.5, a little bit. It's juiced way up there. It's -140. But I look at that maybe a little bit. Allard's been decent as a starter. The Astros hit lefties, and this is a difficult one because you get these games. I think the Rangers swept the Astros like earlier in the year. Obviously, the Rangers are horrible right now, but these weird division games, these dogs can win every once in a while. Just one I don't want anything a part of, and I don't want Odorizzi even at around -200. So it's a pass. Yeah, Fab. I liked it yesterday because the Tigers bullpen. Maybe it's good today. The Rangers can get 4 runs. I thought yesterday was the day. With the whole bullpen day by the Tigers, and they did. They finally got 5 runs, but we'll see today if they could get 4.
All right, good stuff. We will get to our final 3 games. They're all West Coast games, which means it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We'll shout out everybody in the chat at this time. Cash action bets. The one thing that he mentioned in the last game, and I wanted to bring it up here, is the fact that, with Happ rumored in trades, sometimes you get a good effort from a pitcher in that spot. So maybe Happ's motivated and he wants to pitch well, show off for any potential suitors, if you will, for his talent, I guess, or whatever he's got talent-wise. That is post deadline, but still, I mean, that's banking on a lot. The motivation alone is going to make him pitch well tonight. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But Terry, welcome in. Lane. Welcome in. Cash action bets not applicable. Big Ragu, welcome back. Legendary figure around these parts. Jimmy's show, this show, and if you haven't seen him or heard from him, he basically went MIA went undercover, went in the witness protection. I don't know what the fuck, but the last 2 months, and we haven't heard from him much. And now all of a sudden he's come back out from behind the bushes, and he's rocking with these baseball bets the last few days. So way to go, Big Ragu. Good to hear you. Good to see you again. Glad to see you're doing well as well. So welcome back to Big Ragu. Lucky Power, Doc, as we like to call him. We had lots of fun in Miami a couple of years ago. That was a fun trip. Ron Crawford, Turnsey, of course, Dylan Turner, not applicable, Eric Rosas, Melvin Betances, Gabe Martinez, Puzzler, Razor Sharp Picks, Oregon 245, Vitalis, Brian Watson, Uncool, Crystal Warren, Billy Pilgrim. Let's see, we've got, do we miss anybody here? Looks Justin, welcome in. Ninja 13, welcome to everybody in the chat here. Real Deal, Prime, welcome in. Fap Win, Buzz Light W8, Gabe Martinez, Ron Crawford, Cheshire Cat, Alex Van Hooser. Welcome in, everybody, to the MLB Closing Time Show. Let's roll on to Pittsburgh and San Francisco. Chad Kuhl and Johnny Cueto, pitching matchup here. San Francisco about minus 185, minus 190. Home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Be careful with the Giants here. I'm not a big Cueto guy, not by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I know he's been a little bit better lately. I'll give him that. But I'm not big on laying this price with Cueto, and he's winless in his last 3 starts. Let's keep that in mind. He's given up 10 runs, 18 hits in his last 16 innings, which is not very good. And the Giants are coming off these 2 just gigantic victories in a row against the Dodgers to pad their lead in the NL West. Man, it smells like a stinky spot for the San Francisco Giants. Smells to high heaven that this could be a tricky little situation for them tonight against Pittsburgh. And look, Kuhl's actually been better lately for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, I'm not saying he's a great pitcher by any stretch. Like he's coming off 2 of his best starts of the season, though. Braves and the Mets, he gave up just 1 run in 11 innings in those 2 games, and Pittsburgh won both of them. I'm telling you, I'm tempted. Pittsburgh here, first 5 at the very least here. I'm in this spot, coming off the 2 wins, letdown city kind of feel to it for the San Francisco Giants. And, Cueto I don't trust, and Kuhl's actually in slightly better form right now than Johnny Cueto. And again, kind of like San Diego, Miami, sometimes you got to take the plunge with the inferior team at a big plus price. And I worry about that here for the Giants tonight. I really do, because those were 2 big wins for the Dodgers, and this could be just one of those flat as a pancake nights for them back home against a feeble Pirates team, and especially when Cueto's been struggling and Kuhl's been really good in his last 2 starts. So I'm interested in this big dog here in the first 5 innings. Connor, what do you think? Pittsburgh, San Francisco.
I'm interested too, and that's a great stat by Vitalis. Yeah, they're horrible though on the road. The Pirates. That's why It's one thing that's kind of keeps me. But I lean that way too. First 5 plus 165. You mentioned the Giants, the huge wins in the late games against the Dodgers the last 2 nights, and Kuhl. How about this? 6 innings, gone about 6 innings every start, 1-1, 3-1-0. Those are his last 5 starts. He's been a lot better lately. The wind is blowing out. I think of this ballpark at night, unders, but it's blowing out pretty well to left center. I'm with you. We got a big board today, but this is one late. I could take a stab first 5 on the Pirates. I lean that way a little bit.
Yeah, I think from a spot perspective, it adds up. I think from terms of current form, it's he's been better lately. Cueto we get concerned about a little bit here, so it definitely makes sense. Yeah, Kuhl on the road is definitely, but a lot of those bad Kuhl road starts were early in the year. A lot of them.
Like I said. Yeah. Yep. Those were all early on. Milwaukee. Yeah. A lot better.
And remember, all of those bad numbers and starts early in the year for Chad Kuhl have made that ERA look bad. But the recent form is showing you right now that he's been better. So at this price, I'm willing to maybe take a little plunge here on Pittsburgh, at least in the first 5 innings tonight against the Giants. Next up, we've got Oakland and Seattle. Frankie Montas against Yusei Kikuchi. The pitching matchup here, we've got Oakland, minus 120. Road favorites, 7.5 the total in this one. I mean, man, our guy Jose Bouquet, who's with us on Thursday, said it yesterday. Just when you think Seattle, you feel they're in the mix. It's a big series. They got to get the wins. They're at home. It's set up well for them. They got Flexen on the mound. It's been excellent at home, and they just get completely blanketed and shut down that Mariners lineup last night by Sean Manaea and the Athletics in a 4-1 loss. Yeah, that's the problem here with Seattle. I mean, they got rubber meets the road. These are big games. You got to step up and find ways in these big games. This is the team you got to catch for that second wild card. You'd lost a game to them in the of ground to them last night. You got to try to bounce back here tonight. I like Kikuchi, but I didn't like the way he pitched in his last start. He's not in any sort of rhythm. He's not in his regular routine. So I worry about that. He didn't pitch in the All-Star game. He wasn't feeling well going into that. He was on the COVID list for a bit. And then when he came off that list, he had that rough start against the Angels, giving up 7 runs, 9 hits in 5 innings. So I don't know. It's a guy that we worry about health-wise a little bit, Kikuchi. It's a guy that isn't in any sort of pitching rhythm right now. He's not pitching every 5 days, and he hasn't done that now for a couple of weeks. So it's just not a spot where I trust Kikuchi fully. And I don't trust the Mariners' bats against Montas, who's actually been pretty good as of late for the Oakland Athletics. So going to be interesting to see how this goes. But I had my fill of trusting Seattle last night with a good pitcher at a good price at home, and they couldn't get it done. I don't think I want to take my fill of that again here tonight. So I'm passing on this game. Conor, what about you here? Oakland, Seattle.
Yeah, the only thing I kind of like is, at 7.5, I'm looking at the full game over here. I really like the under yesterday, and they're hanging a 7.5. Kikuchi, May 24th, pitched well at Oakland, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned. But you're right. After having those great 4 or 5 starts, he's been horrible. He gave up 5 to the Yankees, 7 to the Angels. And I don't trust Montas either. And both teams, I think the A's, Vital said they'll stack with righties. And there's good numbers off the Mariners, off Montas. Crawford 4 for 11, Haniger 4 for 9 with a homer, France 3 for 6. So I'm gonna go with some runs. They could pitch well, these two pitchers. And Montas, this guy is his stats are perfect of his record. He's 8-8 or whatever, the 4-something ERA. So, but if I see a 7.5, once I saw that, I gotta lean over here. A's Mariners full game.
All right, lean into the over. It might be a decent value spot for the over. It's 7.5. You don't see many of those these days in a 9-inning game. It's just Kikuchi. We've got questions about whether he's healthy. We've got questions about whether he's in any sort of rhythm. Is he going to be sharp, crisp going into this start? He hasn't pitched, every 5 days for a while. And then Montas has been better lately, but he's still capable of those odd games where he can get hit a little bit. So very, very interesting. And again, you're only talking about 7.5 here with the total. So we'll see if it can get up and over that small number. Final game on this Friday slate, Colorado Rockies and the LA Dodgers. We've got You Better Come Home, Chichi Gonzalez for the Colorado Rockies. And we've got David Price on the mound for the LA Dodgers. Price and the Dodgers minus 280, home favorites, total of 9, shaded to the under in this one. Chichi Gonzalez, I remember he just faced the Dodgers fairly recently, I believe. It was actually in his last start against the Dodgers in Colorado just last week. Brutal, rough for Chichi Gonzalez. They got 5 in the first inning against him, and it was a very, very short night for him. He's got a 4.78 ERA against the Dodgers in his career. He's definitely been trending a little bit downward in terms of recent starts on the mound for this Colorado Rockies team. His ERA is now 5.99 on the season, so it's been a rough go for Chichi here. I want no part of Colorado on the road with him on the mound. There is just absolutely no way that I want the Colorado side or Chichi Gonzalez in this game. But do I want to come back and lay this price or take the Dodgers right now? I'm not so sure. David Price, again, Clayton Kershaw's on the IL. Trevor Bauer's still getting that team-implemented suspension for the sexual assault allegations that are being made against him. So as a result, David Price is being pressed into a starting spot here right now for the Dodgers. So we'll see how he goes. 3.12 ERA, though. He's got pretty decent numbers overall, but I don't know. He's not going to pitch deep. You're going to see a lot of Dodgers bullpen. And as we clearly saw in the last 2 games against the Giants, they have bullpen issues. They have Kenley Jansen issues. who decided I'm not going to walk out to the mound last night as Kenley Jansen. I'm going to walk out to the mound last night as Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again, as in blew a second straight game against the San Francisco Giants. Hit me, baby, one more time, which is what he was basically telling the Giants. Hey, hit me, because that's what you've been doing.
Damn,
here.
You're bringing the Britney Spears today.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what Kenley Jansen was last night. Perfect. And it's funny. It's just crazy that two of her songs came to mind because it fits the bill with Kenley Jansen right now. Oops, I did it again. I blew the game. We lost the game. Yeah, that's exactly what Kenley Jansen did. 2 straight nights. Brutal losses for the Dodgers. You think about that. They win the first game that he coughed up the lead instead of losing it. They're tied with the Giants for first in the NL West. And then maybe they've got positive momentum and they come back and they win last night and they're leading the division. Instead, they're 3 games back. Look at the swing that created. Those 2 games in a row blown by Kenley Jansen. Instead of being tied for the division, instead of being up in the division, they're now 3 games back. So brutal setbacks for the LA Dodgers. They got to figure it out come playoff time because that's what's going to keep them from repeating as World Series champions. You cannot keep going this way late in games and him struggling and not finding ways to close these games out. So there's definitely some issues here for Roberts. And Roberts was pissed off the first game he blew that they were booing. Hopefully, and he didn't say anything about the boos last night because they had a right to. That's two in a row for Jansen. So rough times for him in the back end of that bullpen. Getting back to this game, though, it's a pass for me. I'm not involved in it. I would maybe look Dodgers team total over because it's Chichi. He's struggling, and the Dodgers could rip him. But keep in mind, too, Seager, Betts on the IL. Muncy may not even be in the lineup tonight either. I mean, this is going to be a little bit shorthanded, this Dodgers lineup tonight. So lean to the team total, but probably just a lean. I'll probably end up staying off this game entirely. Conor Mac, what do you have to say here? Rockies and Dodgers.
Yeah, those 2 games were just huge. You know, they beat tied for the division. Now they're 3 back. That was bad. It's just they're trying to keep it together like another year with Jansen closing. And it was bullshit. You know, like I said yesterday, Jansen could have get it done last year and they were trying to, you know, he closed a couple games and they took him out. They brought in Trine in and, Urias had to come in and pitch it out of the bullpen, but they don't need him as a starter. And they need David Price tonight. I think they keep stretching him out longer and longer. I'd roll Dodgers team total. I think that's the only bet, unless you go alternate run line. Chichi, his whole career has gotten ripped by the Dodgers. All these guys take him, but Betts out, Muncy out. You know, still, I'd lean Pollock, Turner. Taylor's 3 for 10 with a couple homers. Bellinger's got to get going before Seager gets back from the IL. This guy's he ain't hitting a lick. Cody Bellinger, where are you, my man? He's nowhere to be found. So
yeah, he's on 0 for 25 slide at the plate. That's unbelievable.
He's horrible. He's just pathetic right now. He needs to get his shit together. He needs to cut that fucking hair, that mop top he's got on his head. Anyways, Dodgers team total over 5.5. I think the last time
he was hitting was when he had the clean cut look. He might be onto something there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. I don't know about the full game over 9. I'm just going to stay off it. This is no game. I want nothing a part of it.
That's unreal. He is too good of a hitter to be on an 0 for 25 slump like this. I mean, my gosh, what's happened to Cody Bellinger? It's true. And especially now with so many guys out, you know, they need that bat, you know, his to wake up and get it going. And right now it's on sleep mode right now, the bat of Cody Bellinger at the moment. But yeah, it is stunning to see him just struggling so much right now at the plate, just fighting it, just not good approach, just, you know, not patient. He's lost his patience at the plate. He's swinging it too much too. That's also an issue. But Dodgers, they may be, even with a patchwork lineup tonight, they might be able to do damage against Chichi because they have definitely owned him in the past. Great stuff, Connor. That is the Friday MLB card. Thanks to everyone in the chat. 138 live viewers right now. Let's get the like button going. Hit that like button. Make sure you do that if you enjoy the show on a daily basis. And before we get to best bets and Jack of the Day and the sponsors, a reminder, this is going to be our last Tuesday to Friday show at this time. Starting next week, we'll be on at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on this show. Saturday, Sunday will remain 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific with me, Conor, and David Sharpie joining us Saturday and Sunday. And then Ski Profit will join us Monday, and that show will remain at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So that is the new schedule moving forward right here on Pub Sports Radio for the MLB Closing Time show. All right, let's get to the sponsors, Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, make sure you stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, and karaoke as well at Southtown 101. Manscaped promo code PUBSPORTS, 20% off your purchase of any Manscaped product, including the Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved by using the promo code PUBSPORTS. And mybookie.ag, promo code PUBSPORTS. We've got football 2 weeks away, guys. It's the Hall of Fame game, Steelers and Cowboys, to get the NFL preseason going. 2 weeks from now, also, the CFL season begins. About 2 weeks after that, the first Saturday of college football, that final Saturday of August, there's a handful of college games. So it is here. Football is right around the corner. It will be here before you know it. But no better time than right now to sign up for an account at mybookie.ag. Use Bitcoin as currency for your deposit if you wish. Mybookie.ag, promo code PUBSPORTS. All right, let's get to it. It's time for Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
All right, Jack of the Day. I'll tell you what, this was a lighter day for me when it comes to Jack of the Day. There's only a couple that I ended up circling around and going with. I'm absolutely liking Chris Taylor against Chichi Gonzalez tonight. He's got 2 homers against him in the past, and he will be in the lineup tonight for the Dodgers. One of those guys.
He's the one guy who's hitting. Yeah, he's one guy that's actually hitting.
Yeah. No question. Chris Taylor absolutely is on the radar for me for Jack of the Day. I like Brantley and Yuli Gurriel against Colby Allard in the Houston game. Miguel Cabrera and Willie Castro against Chris Bubich. I like those as well. Jackie Jr. against Giolito might be something you look at. And then there's one more there's a couple in one of the other games. Oh yeah, Castellanos against Wade LeBlanc as well. I think that's definitely a decent one to go with here. And let's go with Gleyber Torres. Yeah, that's true. He is out.
Castellanos is out. Yeah. I just saw that. I think he's out for 2 weeks with a broken something, a wrist.
Good point.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that just recently happened for him. But Gleyber Torres as well against Eduardo might be worth a look. He has done very well also against Eduardo Rodriguez in the past. So there you go. I gave you a few with the Jack of the Day home run props. Connor, what are you looking with those?
I like the Gleyber Torres there. 7 for 21, 3 homers. Freddie Freeman. Freddie. I've hit a lot of guys on here. Freddie hasn't done it for me. He's 18 for 43, 2 homers, sorry. Give me Freddie Freeman. Real Mutos, 9 for 20 with a couple homers. Who else in here? JD Martinez was one I was looking at. Iglesias Upton for the Angels. And Molina, give me 9 for 20 with a couple of Molina for the Cardinals.
All right, it is best bet time for this Friday. Connor cashed another one last night. Mariners and Athletics under the total in the first 5 innings got there. So nice little back-to-back winners for Connor and best bets. Connor, what do you like for best bet tonight?
As I look through this card, and there's a bunch of stuff, but I like 2 of my best bets, I think. I like first 5 unders here. I like Pods Marlins, but I'm going to go first 5 under 4.5, but that's not going to be my best bet. My best bet is Sox Brewers, first 5 under 4. Give me Giolito. He's got to get it done on the road, but I know what I'll get out of Peralta. So first 5 under 4, minus 120.
All right, first 5 under 4, minus 120. Best bet for Conor Mack here. I'm going to go to back to the totals again. I went with a side last night. Totals have been just so much. With best bets, they've been so much better for me than sides all season long. So we're going back to the totals tonight for best bet for this Friday card. And we're going to take advantage of an 8.5 total with 2 red hot lineups right now. Toronto Blue Jays, New York Mets, over 8.5, minus 120. I like that one quite a bit. Mets have hit 7 runs or scored 7 runs or more in 4 of their last 5 games. Blue Jays lineup, we know how dangerous they've been lately. And even in the games they lost against Boston, they still scored 4 and 6 runs in those games. McGill is due for some correction. He's not going to maintain and sustain this 2-point whatever he's got 8 ERA the rest of the season. He's going to step up in class. You're not facing the Pirate lineup anymore twice. You're not facing the Brewers anymore. You're facing the Jays. And Mats will be motivated to shut down the Mets, but I don't know if he will shut them down completely. The Mets lineup is in good form and hitting right now. So let's go with it. Blue Jays, Mets, over 8.5 for my best bet tonight. That'll wrap up this edition of the MLB Closing Time Show for Friday, July 23rd. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on Saturday. And Sharpies will join us, David Sharp, for the Saturday show to break down the Saturday MLB card. For Conor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. We'll see you again tomorrow on Saturday for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports.